gonna go ahead and call this meeting to order. I'm gonna ask Victoria if you would please do a roll call determination of a quorum.
Counselor Denise Benavides.
Present.
Counselor Dorothy Valdez. Counselor Dennis Tim Salazar. Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez.
Thank you, Ms. Denise, for attending. Appreciate you being online. Unfortunately, we do not have a quorum. There are no decisions except for the statewide local energy infrastructure project for 240 on the police vehicles. If we have to, we'll have a special meeting to send that to full council to the second meeting of the month. There was also the status of the speed cameras. That will be more of a report than it is a purchase, correct, Chief? Chief? It's okay. Take a breather. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. The speed camera initiative is just a presentation, no purchase of anything as of yet, correct? And then the consideration, the acceptance of the appropriation for the amount of $379,000, hiring law enforcement support positions. That is that is federal?
No, that's state, ma'am. It's very different from federal, in that the feds, the federal government will fund it 100% for all 3 years. The state will only fund it 100% the first year, 50% the second year, and 25% the third year. So we're real judicious when we accept that, but we can use it and we appreciate it, but that's about the only difference.
We encumber 50 and 20 and 75% in the second and third year.
So it's 100 the first year, then it's 50 the second year, and then they pay 100 the first, 50 the second year, 25% the third year.
When they pay that 100%, is it inclusive of the equipment that officer is going to require?
No, ma'am, it's just for the salary and
Salary,
benefits.
okay. So being that we don't have a quorum, we're not going to be able to vote on moving that forward. If it's time sensitive and you really feel like it needs to be heard by the entire governing body before we meet again for public safety, then let me know and I will make sure that that gets on an agenda, okay?
That one can wait, ma'am. I would say the other one, the
More
one with
important?
the 240, which is, I think it's just for us to discuss the potential. This has come before this committee twice and before the full city council twice also. It's just getting the resolution for the 240,000 that we received for vehicles. And that's just to request that we approve that, we ask for the resolution.
Counselor Denise, are you okay with that going for a resolution, being that it's already been approved by this committee?
Yes, Chair, I think so. I think we should move it forward. It's already been a long time that, the chief has been waiting. So yes, let's move it forward.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you agreeing with us on this. Yeah, Chief, go ahead and ask the clerk to put that on a resolution, being that it's already come through committee, it's already gone through full council. The resolution should go on the next city council meeting, which will be on the 10th, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I will
And then
ensure
on the
that.
other one, we'll put it back on this agenda for the next one, and we'll get that to the next meeting again also, okay?
Yes, ma'am. That one isn't, like you said, time sensitive, and by then, I'm hoping that we have the other 365,000 that was given to us by the state in reference to the purchase of other equipment.
Okay, so everything else is just information only because we don't have a quorum to approve an agenda and follow an agenda, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's all we're doing is sharing information, no decisions to be made at this meeting, correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, I would, just for, thank you.
Recording in
Go ahead with-
progress.
Start with you concerning the, we can't approve the minutes either, okay?
No.
Sorry. We'll go ahead and start with you with the status of the speed initiatives, the speed camera initiatives.
Yes, ma'am, like we had talked, and I believe did we post if we could, Victoria, can we post the company that we're using? We reached out, ma'am, to a company when it comes to speed cameras, and I know you and I had talked about this before when we had at the school board meeting, but we reached out to a company that probably fits best for our community in that this company is not going to charge us up front for the cameras or for any software or for any installation. The only thing that they're going to require from us is $27 from each citation. The citations will not start until the driver is doing 11 miles or over the posted speed limit. As a matter of fact, I received an email today indicating from Ms. Traverso that I should be receiving the initial cameras from them that we can post for 2 weeks in different areas of the city. I've been to a couple of community meetings since then, kind of asking where they think. I can tell you that one of the first places to me would be coming in from the north, coming in from north to south by where the Sonic is on the southern end of town. The speed goes from, if I'm not mistaken, 55 down to 35 as you come into our city limits. People are doing 55, 60 as we're coming in there. So I would like to use that. The other place is near the Y. We've had a couple of accidents there where people are exceeding the limit and they'll roll the cars, or that we'll have motor vehicle accidents. We're talking about putting one on the Fairview Extension going towards the high school from Riverside. We're talking about in certain neighborhoods that are having property crime issues, because these, they'll help us, speeding through just neighborhoods. I can tell you that on the west side, there's been a few neighborhoods at night that I'll go and park. People are exceeding the 25-mile-per-hour speed limit. I think this is the best company because it's not going to cost our community anything up front, zero. Installation, I will put those cameras up for 2 weeks, send it to them. What I'd like to do, ma'am, is bring you back with all the facts where they've said we have speeding issues, so that comes up, and then immediately from our next meeting, go into the city council. The timing would be perfect, because if I get them next week, I'll have them up for 2 weeks, which will be just in time for our next Public Safety Committee. I'll give you the stats of the locations where I put them, and then we can decide then there, ma'am, if you want me to take it to full council.
So some of the areas that I know have been a concern are North and South McCurdy, of course, La Jolla, Paseo de Onate, southbound. People coming into town on this road over here are killing it at this light, 70 miles an hour, with no intent to brake near that light. I mean, I've seen the light be green for me to go for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and still somebody's gonna run that light. It's crazy. The other area of concern that I've had a lot recently is East Pueblo, believe it or not. You got a couple of youngsters that think that's a drag strip, so they've been lining up at the end of the road and hitting it to La Jolla at 2 o'clock in the morning, racing. So that's an issue. And also, there has been somebody up here that's tearing up the city lot near the old junior high school. It usually happens during the week, about 11 o'clock p.m. I don't know if it's a vehicle, a truck, or a car, I'm not sure, but it's pretty loud, and you can just tell they're just spinning that dirt out. So those are all areas of concern where speeding is concerned. I really feel like this road here, southbound, is really dangerous. And also the area that you mentioned, coming in from San Pedro, I think that's dangerous. And also coming in from Ranchitos, people do come in from Ranchitos sort of fast also. So I'm excited about this, and I'm really happy that we're going to have an opportunity to see some stats before we make any commitments. Councilor Denise, any comments on this issue?
No, I'm excited too, Chair. There has been so much speeding lately. Boy, like if you're out late at night, even through town, it's amazing. But I think for me, one of the worst ones is that McCurdy Road. Boy, it's dangerous there. But no.
Yeah, okay.
Excited, Chief.
Thank you for your comments, and I do agree with her that McCurdy is an issue, especially because there's so many people that come on to McCurdy and off of McCurdy relatively fast. So that's somewhere that we need to really handle. I'm gonna go ahead and skip to you right away if the Planning and Zoning and Fire Department don't mind, since you're already there. You guys mind if Chief goes first? No? Thank you. Do you mind? No? Well, we really have, I'll go ahead and yield and let you guys have a minute. Let me let the two guests have a minute, and then we'll go back to you, Maisel. I know it takes a lot to get here, and it's a lot of effort for somebody from the public to make a commitment mentally and get here, so we'll listen to your concerns.
So first is Bethany Bratley.
Good evening, everybody. I actually have a few things that I wanted to, from the shelter yesterday, we actually, I'm sure you received my email, and we actually did a walkthrough. Eric and Jeff came yesterday, so we had all the concerns have been addressed and will be fixed, will be getting fixed. So per Bridget and Lisa, they wanted to thank you again for taking the time to come. You know, we know you're busy, so they wanted to thank you themselves again for coming.
Madam Chair, Bethany, thank you for having me.
Oh, we enjoyed it. Thank you. And a few things. Actually, Denise, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Denise today submitted the feral ordinance, and we have been working on that, and we got it turned in. So hopefully, once all that gets passed, again, Pet Amigos can hit the ground running and get, because kitten season was literally hell. And we're still backed up and inundated with kittens. A lot of them are feral, coming from feral colonies and feral moms. And it's just, honestly, it's been a lot. So this feral ordinance will help us be able to hit the ground running and get out there and start trapping, because
What exactly are you talking about, feral ordinance?
the feral ordinance that was put into place back when Javier was here, stating that people are not allowed to TNR.
And the new ordinance?
The new ordinance is going to, because technically it's illegal to TNR right now. Ask your ACO. Am I correct, Chief? Is it not illegal to trap, spay, and neuter feral cats?
That's legal.
No, it's not. Denise, can you chime in, please?
I'm sorry, Bethany, can you say that again really quick for me? The illegal
feral
piece?
ordinance that we have been working on, so the original one states that it is illegal to TNR.
Correct. And just so everybody knows, I want Mayor Pro Tem to know that we actually worked with the director of the shelter to modify, and there's not that many modifications, but there are some that were more clarifications in the ordinance. And so having the help of the shelter director really made it a lot easier to get it finalized.
Okay.
So, well, when Stormy was in the drain, actually, the other thing was, as I stated, he would have been classified, he was classified by the ACO as a feral cat. And so
There's no such thing as a feral cat in the city of Espanola anymore.
I'm telling you right now, don't tell me. And yes, technically well, either way, then you tell your ACO, because he literally stopped that woman and told her to cease and desist putting water and food in the storm drain in the hopes to get the kitten coaxed out of where he was at. You can ask John, because she even said it to John, and he came back and told us that the feral mom might come down and pick the cat up out of the drain. So that's something you need to discuss with your ACO, because I'm just saying, he literally said that it was illegal and this lady had to cease and desist. He's also come to the shelter and told them that legally they're not supposed to do any TNR. So, the head of Pet Amigos is nervous at the fact that she could possibly get somebody in trouble if she goes there to TNR, and you cannot blame her if this is also what she's hearing from the ACO, because technically that feral ordinance is the only reason why I even started going to meetings, and that was back when Javier was there. I can actually email you the feral ordinance.
Let me have Joanne
Okay.
trade places with you, and then I'm just going to state something very quickly. Oh, you're. No, that's a comment I wanted to yield to.
Having been on the school board and other meetings, usually you don't engage in discussion, but so I prepared just my statement. So I'm going to say good evening, Madam Chair, members of the Public Safety Committee. I'm Joanne Salazar, and I'm here tonight representing the San Gabriel Historical Society, whose members provide volunteer docent services for the city of Espanola at the Bond House Museum. We have 10 active volunteers, and each volunteer provides 4 hours of volunteer service per month, plus additional volunteer time for committee work. The average hourly wage for volunteer services has been valued anywhere from $20 an hour to $30+ an hour. Taking an average of $25 per hour, these volunteers are providing approximately $52,000 of free services to the city each year. Additionally, the volunteers with the San Gabriel Society identify, promote, set up and take down various exhibits at least twice a year. These volunteers love greeting visitors locally and from out of town, and do so professionally and with much love and appreciation for the Espanola Valley. We have done this, and we thank over the years, docents have been asked to pick up trash around the perimeter and report any problems with the building to the appropriate directors. We have done this, and we thank the many city workers that have provided needed maintenance, and most recently for painting the 2 large exhibit rooms. However, it does the city no good to conduct the needed maintenance if vandalism and vagrancy continue to plague the area. Most recently, a docent reported to me that when she arrived to start her volunteer shift, the front porch was a mess with clothes strewn about and human excrement in one spot. While the volunteers are happy to pick up trash, cleaning up such waste matter goes beyond the call of duty. Because the security around the Bond House Museum is lax, the safety of our docents and visitors must be a priority. So on behalf of the San Gabriel Historical Society, we ask the city improve the lighting around the perimeter of the building, maybe motion lights, place outside cameras that can be monitored by the city police and police force, and increase police or security guard presence in that area as well as the entire plaza. Thank you for your consideration. Thank you.
Totally agree with you on these issues. Okay, Chief, go ahead, and we'll start your report. Fire Department, Johnny and John. Good night. Thank you again, Ms. Salazar.
Madam Mayor, Pro Tem, governing body, today we just going to make my report short. We have Fire Safety Day at Lowe's on October 21st, and we will be working with Judge Madrid on Red Ribbon Week on October the 23rd through the 27th. Today, myself, John Wickersham, and Pablo Montoya went down to Albuquerque to do a review on our grant that I wrote in July, August, for asking for a $300,000 grant to see if we can start to purchase a new fire truck. Getting back to calls for the month of August, we had 223 calls. That was for the month of August. For September, as of 9/27, we have run 173 calls, so we're probably gonna be hitting around 220, 225. And one of the biggest thing is that I wanted to thank my staff, all my staff and everybody that worked diligently. So on September the 14th of September 2023, Espanola ISO class went down to a 4 officially. And I yield for any questions or.
First and foremost, gentlemen, thank you for the ISO rating dropping to 4. Something that the city hasn't been able to do since I've been on the council, which has been 12 years. We've come down a little bit. I think we came down from a 7 to a 6, but we had never been able to get this low on the ISO. And I actually believe that we're set to come down a little bit more if we do things correctly on the next round. Why this is so important is because the city of Espanola residents will catch a little break on their house insurance in the upcoming year because of that rating. So it affects every single constituent within the city limits and within the confines of city of Espanola. And it's very important. I want to thank both of you for your abilities to work with the staff in maintaining the records necessary to prove the work that you guys are doing. I think that was a major part of the new ISO rating. And just all the training and everything that you two are doing with the department has been incredible. And I believe that is part of what has brought that ISO rating down. Concerning the grant issue today and the review, how did you feel that went?
There was
a lot of people.
There was a lot of
chiefs there.
a lot of chiefs for asking for grants. You know, there was. I thought at first it was when I was asked to go. I thought it was just going to be for people who were asking for fire trucks. You know, but it was everybody there that was asking from SCBA's to stations to you name it.
Fire stations?
Yeah. Well, you know, they would get up to like 400,000. You know, but there was a lot of questions, you know, if they had any questions on your grant, that was the time they were gonna ask.
Were there any departments that are volunteer departments from this area that were there? They were there.
It was Dixon, Alex Cisneros was there for the county. We had, I think, Dave.
Las Vegas was there, Taos was there.
Truchas was there.
Truchas was there.
Yeah,
Santa Fe County was there.
like sitting back and listening to the people that were talking there, it's like, wow, you know, that we're not the only ones that are needing money, in need. There are so many
There's
people.
some departments that are struggling out there.
That's struggling, really
That's
struggling, and
So,
it's,
I'm glad that you guys were down there, and I'm glad you represented the need of that fire truck to them. I'm hopeful that they'll consider helping us with that. Anything that they would give us towards that would be beneficial. Concerning the Red Ribbon Week, the 23rd through the 27th, what elementaries are you guys gonna hit, do you know?
so we're, as far as I know, we have Alex Swazzle that's gonna be handling this. So we are gonna bring a couple of guys in to help Judge Bridget, and we're gonna try to go with them to all the schools.
Please call me, so I can at least try and attend this one in Fairview or this one in Sombrio. At least 2 I'd like to go to, so please keep in touch with me that week. The 21st is the fire safety deal. Do we have any,
That's the big one that Lowe's helps us out with every year. We have Los Alamos Fire that's gonna come down with their burn trailer. We have La Masia, La Masia, Santa Clara usually shows up.
okay, Wingate, a little,
Okay, Wingate will probably be there. Lowe's will have a bunch of, I know that Alex, the union, has worked to try to get smoke detectors from Azia Credit Union and Del Norte Credit Union, a couple of the banks. Guadalupe usually pitches in for that as well. So we should have a lot of smoke detectors, a couple of fire extinguishers to give out. Breast cancer is this month. They're slacking on their shirts. I know, but they should have them here in the next week or 2. So we should be selling those breast cancer shirts, and you should see the guys or the crews in our breast cancer awareness shirts. I believe they're selling them for $10, $15 this year. I don't know. We kind of stepped away from the union, and Alex is the new president, and so he's doing a really good job. Yeah, their shirts look really nice this year, so hopefully we can help. I think we helped 4 people out last year with $1,000 that were battling cancer in some sort of way. So that was awesome that we can do that every year. I think this is our 11th or 12th year that we've done it.
I think that's a day when it's an opportunity to sell a lot of those shirts. A lot of people want to support you guys in that initiative. So hopefully that will be all ready to roll on that date. Anything else going on in the department that we should be aware of?
La Jolla, I talked to James, the lead foreman over there today. They're gonna pour the concrete on Tuesday. We got power hooked up on Monday, so the power to the building on Monday. The gas line was DC'd from the back parking lot this morning. Elijah's gonna get over there tomorrow and remove the tree and the rest of the concrete that's back there. Concrete will be poured on next Tuesday. The floors in the bedrooms are done. They're working on the floors throughout the building this week. Yep, to stain them. They're polishing them. They should be done with the polish probably Thursday or Friday, and then they can pour the seal on top of it probably by, he thinks by Friday, next Friday, we could have a date for a completion date, a firm date when it's gonna be complete.
Sort of quick.
Yep. So yeah, I like, it's painted, their countertops are in, the stalls are in, the bathrooms are, the urinals are in, the toilets.
sinks.
So they're moving quick, so I'm pretty hopeful in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Right
It's getting
around where we
closer.
thought. I thought about the 17th around there is what
Yeah,
I
so
thought.
it's getting close. They'll pave that back parking lot. Hopefully they can get rid of all that stuff this week, and then maybe we'll start the paving next week. They can probably start paving, hopefully.
Exciting.
It's exciting. It's gonna be awesome. That station is so beautiful. We need to see him. I don't think he's been over there yet. Maybe tomorrow we can take you over there for a site visit to walk through. Okay, we'll text you. Yeah, it's a beautiful station. I was in Albuquerque yesterday as well, and I went through an Albuquerque fire, one of their new fire stations, and it's nice. It's awesome. They have money, but this station is beautiful. This one's gonna be nice.
Well, and the awesome part is that through the whole design, it wasn't designed strictly by an architect. I really feel like the department at every level, even the rookies, have had input. You know what I mean? And I think that's really cool. I think that's their home away from home. They spend a lot of time there, and it's important that they feel comfortable in that environment. And I think that when you work in a new building like that, with a new facility and a department like you guys, it makes people want to stick around, and I think that's important.
We're all excited
Well,
about
I'll
it.
tell you one thing, like I say, everything that's being put into that station is like top of the line, up to date.
We wanted to do.
And like we've already given them the idea of maybe moving the lieutenant back over this way and that, but some of them said, no, they're happy over here. But like I say, if I told them if I was still being a lieutenant, I would have been going to La Jolla. But I think the biggest thing that people about going to La Jolla is because they run a lot of calls from out of there. But once they start seeing the way the station is set up and everything, it is.
And I think Pablo told us June, we're gonna get the new rescue.
Hopefully,
So it's still a ways out, but at least we got a date. So it's a ways out, but we should have a new rescue for that station,
The biggest thing is we're gonna go back and we're gonna have plenty of storage. We're not gonna have to worry about trying to put this truck
Yeah.
here and this other truck here. And, I mean, we're moving along and,
Right, there's plenty of room for everything, including the ATVs in the back. And I also think we should probably consider a connect box for you guys at some level back there, just for other stuff. And
yeah, that's what me and Pablo were talking about on
And
our
we
way
were
back.
we're gonna purchase 2 of them for that training facility, so maybe we could just purchase 3. you know, I don't know if we can get cheaper if they're, but
Find out.
we want 2 of them for up to
The
training
RFP, sir.
facility, and that'll be, so.
Okay, anything on the numbers? You wanna pull that page up, Victoria? They didn't provide it to you? Shall I hurt them? Just kidding. John's face is red and Johnny's face is redder. Okay, okay, we're done. Have a nice evening. Thank you guys, and thank your department, thank every single person that works in your department on my behalf, and just say thank you for everything they're doing. Denise, do you have anything else to add to that?
As usual, Mayor Pro Tem, thank you both and your staff. And I love the new fire station. I check it out every time I pass by there, which is pretty often. So great job, guys.
Wait for the training center, it's gonna be just as awesome.
I know, I'm excited. I saw just kind of the sample pictures. It looks cool.
Thank you, Denise. Planning and land use,
They're probably not, but we're gonna have to get them before we send that.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Councilor Benavides. How are you? I sent you guys an email. I apologize for the late notice, but I do have paper copies if you need it for updated code enforcement list, if that's easier for you.
I'll make sure that this gets emailed to you, Denise.
Sounds good.
Denise, you should have it in your inbox. So if you need to pull it up, it should be in
Yeah,
there.
and I do. I saw it.
Okay, great, awesome, thank you so much. So currently, code enforcement is on its regular duties. Armando Rodriguez has been out with, he's been having some health issues, so we've been giving him the space and time to heal, and we wish him the best as he, is doing what he needs to do to get better. Matt's been doing the rounds by himself for the last 2 weeks that he's been out. So we're working with that right now. So that's all on the code enforcement front. And then next Wednesday, the 11th and 12th are going to be the first day of the Hunter Market. So we'll be at the Hunter Ford lot. I know that police is doing some courtesy rounds, and Pablo will be doing some fire inspections down at the event, and Jolene and I will be there on Wednesday, and Jolene will be running it on Thursday. So those are my quick bullet points.
Do we have people pre-signed up, or do you have any idea who's gonna be there on those days?
Yeah, so right now we have one food truck per day signed up. There's some other folks I'm waiting for calls back. I was out flyering today. So hopefully, I was at Chicken Scratch.
Are they out today?
They were out today, yeah.
I didn't see them. I passed earlier this morning, and I was hopeful that they would be out, but they probably got there after I passed.
Maybe.
I passed about 10:30 though.
I think they were out like noon. It was like
Darn
12:15.
it.
I'm sorry, I should have let you know.
Darn it.
So we're still securing some of our food truck vendors. We've had a pretty big response on the canopy vendors. We have a stained glass artist that someone's connecting me with that was interested in selling, as well as a few people selling some fresh produce and, what is it called? Agua frescas. So those are our confirmed vendors, so it'll be a small start, but we've been working with community services. They've been getting us tables and things like that. So we'll be there probably about 6:30 in the morning on Wednesday of next week to set up. And yeah, we're moving and grooving, hoping for a good response. So we went over to the hospital and flyered again today, and they're excited to.
Very cool. I'm excited. I'll be there for sure too.
Yeah, and if you know anyone that's interested in vending, please send them my way. I've been experimenting with booking software intermittently throughout my day. So, but we do have some folks signed up, and we'll have some people committed. So, very exciting, and I invite you guys all to stop by and get a bite to eat. What? It's the launch date is October 11th, next Wednesday, and we'll be there from 7:30 to 4 p.m. And then Thursday also, same hours, 7:30.
Have you, or has anybody spoken to any of the food trucks in Santa Fe about the possibility of coming this way?
I had a few calls with them this morning. I'm working with Fusion Taco has a joint ownership, so I've been in contact with their brick and mortar manager, and his sister manages the food truck side. So I think that she was busy today, but I kind of have been bothering him. But he finally texted me her number, so I called her actually before this meeting, and then I put a few feelers out to some vendors out in Taos. So hopefully Fusion on Wednesday, and then Poke Taco has tentatively signed up for Thursday. So, and then, yeah, we have a few other food vendors that are going to be selling under canopies, just not hot food.
Main thing is people in our community really need to support these trucks that are coming out. Because the worst thing that could happen is people not go there, they make the effort to be there and then not do well that day. That would be horrendous.
Right.
So we really need to support that day, make sure that we get the word out to people so that we could make sure that they have a good sales day.
Yeah.
Has anybody been on the radio with this initiative, coffee break, or done anything like that about it?
Not yet. We just had a call this afternoon with Rio Grande Sun, so they'll be publishing that, but we have not done radio publicity yet.
Could we reach out to Tomas at Quirice and, yeah.
Yeah.
The mayor usually has a coffee break. I'm sure he would be willing to share that with you.
Great.
Get an opportunity to talk to people. I'm always amazed at how many people listen to Quirice in the morning, like the whole community.
Great.
So I think, I think it's a good opportunity to get the word out. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that too. Anything from you, Councilor Denise, on this initiative?
No, I met with the girls for lunch to go over everything they have in the works, and I was really excited about this one. And I think as people find out about it, maybe even after the first one, there'll be a lot more participation. And maybe the chamber could help get the word out. But no, I love this initiative. I think it's a really cool one. And if it takes off, maybe we can do something to the outside of that Hunter building.
We had a group out there today. Elijah and his team showed up really, really quickly. So planning and community development and that the streets and parks crew were all out there, and we repainted the railings and we got it knocked out in about an hour. So
All right.
and then we also Elijah and his team came out and restriped it this morning. We're adding some ADA parking. That's like kind of the next step, and they're going to be doing some plant control. And I chose a great day to wear flip-flops tackling the anthills, but yeah, no, it's going great. So we're excited. But we're definitely trying to secure vendors. So if you know anyone that's interested, send them my way.
Sounds
Awesome.
good.
Phone number direct.
Yes, it is 505-699-1195. Awesome. Anything else? Thanks, you guys.
And I appreciate all the work that you and your department are doing. Definitely, we look forward to this initiative, and hopefully it's something that is just the very beginning of something really cool.
I'm excited.
Me too. Yay.
All right.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Chief Misael Garcia.
Sorry, Madam Pro Tem.
You are, it's
Councilor Benavides, I wanted to step out and get you a little more information in reference to that issue that came up earlier. I did find the feral cat colony ordinance that was approved back in February of 2022, but if I'm not mistaken, ma'am, that was struck recently, and I have
Right.
to do research to make sure. But I know there is a problem with the vernacular and the definitions in the ordinance. I spoke to Officer Benavides. So what I'd like to do, ma'am, is do more research, speak with everybody involved to include Officer Benavides, and give you a better report. But I know that had come up recently, the striking down,
The feral cat ordinance was repealed by the governing body.
and that's what we were trying to find the date, ma'am, to confirm it.
It's, Bethany has it, she pulled it up.
I have it and I pulled it up, and if you look at it, it actually says it is illegal, which is, I did circle and I sent him, and that was right before he left, and it literally states in there, it is unlawful for any person to maintain a feral cat colony within city limits by trapping, feeding, vaccinating, neutering, or releasing members of the feral cat colony. That is literally what that ordinance says.
That's right, but that doesn't mean that, like you're talking about trap and release any cat? That's what you're talking about? Or you're talking about somebody that has a colony of cats?
Trapping and releasing any cat, because technically, if you read the ordinance, it's literally stating that it's illegal to do, yes, it is.
I'm not gonna argue with you, Bethany, and you're out of order, okay? I'm talking to the chief.
I'll do background for you, ma'am, and I'll present you with the memo on everything on that, just so you have it for the record. What other information, ma'am, were you looking for from me in reference to this evening? I did want to just say that new software program, the tracks that we talked about the last Public Safety Committee meeting. My officers now, one officer actually in this last month issued 105 citations. So that software program we talked about is really helping us out with citations and traffic accidents. And I think I had brought that up at the previous public safety, that we were gonna install that in 11 of our vehicles, so it's really made a difference. We also talked about the bar for the money that we had for the grant. That will be, once we get our finance director in place, that should be able to be done, and I'll be able to report that for the next public safety committee, that it was placed back. And once again, provide you with a quote for the ALPRs and the cameras that we had talked about. It'll probably be the same quote we've seen several times, but now that the money's back in the budget, the way it should have been through the bar, I'll be able to tell you exactly the cost. And other than that, ma'am, I have calls like we've talked about. The guys have still been busy with the animal control calls. We're working on a new job description that hopefully is going to be implemented. It'll be an organizational change through my department, but we'll have an employee who will work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and will be responsible for traffic accidents and for animal control calls, which should alleviate the calls for service for animal control on the weekend, and should alleviate the officers, my officers, having to deal with crashes, and they'd be able to respond to the more high-end calls that they need to, but we would still be able to take care of the traffic crashes. So other than that, that's about it, ma'am, that I have for this evening for the committee, and I sit here before you.
Where you were at on hire and fill positions?
By the end of this month, ma'am, by November 1st, I'll be hiring 3 uncertified and 3 certified officers. The 3 certified officers, we hired one on this past Monday. I have one starting on the 23rd, and then we have a second one that's potentially going to be hired right around the same date on the 23rd. I have 3 uncertified. 2 of them will be starting on the 16th, and the other one will be hired on the 1st officially. He accepted the offer. So we have 6 new officers, 3 certified, 3 uncertified, that'll be hired by the end of the month.
So where does that leave you? Does that leave you fully staffed, or you're still short?
Oh, we're still short, ma'am. We'll be,
Meetings after that?
by then, not losing anybody, we should have right around 26, 27, ma'am.
So about 3 short.
5 short. We're staffed for 32, we're authorized 32.
You're working on those as we speak?
Yes, ma'am, we're doing everything, like you had stated to Director Sewell. I go on those coffee with the mayor, and all I do is attempt to recruit, and I think it is effective. I have people that call in, so that'd be a great idea for her to be able to go with the mayor on that, because it does get out to the community.
I agree. How hard is it to bring in certified in comparison to uncertified?
It's a lot harder to take certified. It takes a unique person, somebody that, A, lives in our valley, in our community, to want to be here and do it for the job. The problem is, we have at least 5 agencies within a 30-mile radius that they're gonna be making anywhere from, and we've said this before, anywhere from $5 to $8 an hour more. So, Taos pays more than we do, Los Alamos pays more, County of Santa Fe, City of Santa Fe, State Police, and so does, we don't lose a lot to our tribal partners, because any officer that still needs their para time would come, still gonna come for us. So we have to work for uncertifieds, get them ready for the academy, send them to the academy, but the problem is, ma'am, that we've seen is, unfortunately, once they go to the academy and come to us, they get a job offer from one of these other agencies because they're already certified, and of course, they might, for the money, they're gonna take it.
So this committee needs to work on a retention contract when we certify somebody that holds the person to this community for at least 2 or 3 years.
That would be something that I think this committee and through also HR, that we would be able to work at and look at, yes, ma'am.
And if the recruit decides that he would rather work in another community, then he should return the funding that this community invested in his career.
I would fully agree with you, yes, ma'am.
So I don't think 2 years is a lot to ask for when you're getting a whole career out of it. I think that's fair to everybody involved. So I would look to that. I will ask Sally about that in the future, and I'll ask Mr. Rennick if he feels that that is legitimately legal for us to do. And then we work on something with him and see if we can't get that to come through for us so that we can hold on to these guys a little bit longer at least. Counselor Denise?
Yeah. I'm here.
Anything for the chief?
No, I just want to thank the chief. I had gotten a text from my neighbor, and somebody was stealing a catalytic converter at her son's home, and they had video and sent it in and caught the guy quickly, chief. So please thank your staff for that. They're still out there stealing them, apparently. I thought it had slowed
Has there
down,
been
but
an
they're still out
uprising
there, right?
recently? Has catalytic seemed to be a thing again?
Well, not as much as it was a few
Yeah.
months ago. What we have been addressing is, in the last week, we've caught 3 burglaries in progress, which property crimes now for us is a focus, and we've been hitting them. So this past week, we caught one last week in progress. We caught one yesterday. And it's just a matter of, I'll be honest, the officers are out in the neighborhoods, and they're close enough to catch these people as they're committing the crime. And that's why we talk it's so important to getting that PSA animal control officer to alleviate them being on an accident and rather having them patrol the communities like they should be.
You know, we've gone back and forth with public safety aides in this community a lot. We had them, then we didn't have them, then we had them, then we didn't have them. And the thought of the governing body at the time that we decided to do away with them was that if you're gonna hire a public safety aide, you might as well hire an officer. It's a little bit more expensive, but at the same time, the guy's able to do everything. A public safety officer can go to the scene of an accident, but he can't write the citation if a citation has to be written.
And I'll tell you, ma'am, what the biggest problem, Madam Pro Tem, Councilor Benavides, the problem, ma'am, is gonna be the physical part, is that we can teach, and we have now a couple of candidates within my department that would fit this perfect, these positions, in that they have been with our department, but the physical aspect of law enforcement, they weren't able to achieve. So rather than losing that experience of them being out there, they would be perfect candidates except for potentially an injury or some type of, physical, I don't want to call it a disability, but they're unable to complete the requirements. But they're still very valued in what they do, and that they already have been trained and they know how to do the accidents. And secondly, they would alleviate some of the issues that we have over the weekends. And I think you and I have spoken ad nauseum about the issues over the weekend with animal control. So I think at this current time, ma'am, and they're not permanent positions, I'd like to have them as temporary till the next budget to see how they work out. And if they don't work out, then it's nothing that we have to, keep if we don't need to. But I think it's something that we have to be innovative in our community, because the way we're doing it right now is not getting it done. So we have to think outside the box.
I agree with you, and I think that you're being smart and trying to figure out ways to free more officers up to do real policing. So I'll agree with you on that for sure. And I trust your judgment, Chief. I want you to know that it's hard to keep that department staffed, and it stresses me out that it's always in and out, in and out, in and out. And I wish we could get to a point where everybody that works here wants to stay here and really likes the job and doesn't want to go to another department. And
Madam, we do have a core of officers, and the thing about them is they're here, they live here, they're born and bred. And I think what we see is officers that want an opportunity to get into law enforcement. And I'm going to tell you, Espanola is a great training ground for officers, and that's why other departments take them, because we do a lot. I think you've seen, we average 1,500 calls a month. Just before I got in here, we had a hostage situation. Officers went in, safely were able to extract the female, no use of force. So the experience that our officers get here compared to a lot of other agencies, and that's why when they do leave us, and again, a lot of the reason is the money, and because, you know, that at that point when they're younger officers, that's going to happen.
yeah, and I do agree with you that every department is dealing with a roundabout in employment where it's just one of those things that police officers do move around. We understand that. And we don't put anything on anybody, but like I said, I want to thank you. I also want to recognize you for the article that was printed in the paper concerning a vehicle that was stolen out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, that was tracked. The owner tracked the vehicle to the city of Espanola, called the city of Espanola. Well, first they called the Albuquerque Police Department. Albuquerque Police Department didn't do anything about it. Then they tracked the vehicle to the city of Espanola. It got noticed here within our community. They called the Espanola Police Department. Within an hour, the Espanola Police Department recovered the vehicle.
It was 11 minutes, ma'am.
Well, okay.
It was 11 minutes
In
from
11
the call.
minutes, they required,
And actually, as a quick side note, and this is a shout out to our fire chief, but they were members of the Steve Miller Band, the victims.
really?
Yes.
Really? That's one of my
I didn't find
favorite
that out till
bands.
later.
That's cooler than heck. Wow.
And we didn't know that prior. We just, they showed up. He called me, he thanked me, didn't tell me who he was. And then later I found out they're with the Steve Miller Band. And then when I received that article from in Albuquerque, it was nice to see.
Yeah, it's good. It's good publicity for the city of Espanola and your department. So thank you again. I also want to recognize John Wickersham for going down to Hobbs and celebrating that little baby that's life was spared and put into that little baby box in Hobbs, New Mexico. City of Espanola was on the front line of making the decision to get a baby box first. We sort of led the rest of the state down the road, and I feel like there's other communities that are going to come along, and it's just going to be where almost every community has one of these boxes at some level. Anytime that women are in a situation where they cannot handle parenting, I think that having that box is a viable option for them to keeping that little one as safe as possible. I thank you, John, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, because that is something that has already saved one child, and we just don't even know how many more can be affected by those boxes. So thank you for that initiative. Thank you all for the job you do for the city of Espanola. You guys are all my favorites because there's no excuses and everybody's hustling and making things happen. And that's what Espanola needs. We need buy-in from every single department. We need people that are hustling and that want Espanola to shine the brightest. And I believe that the people in this room are the people that are working the hardest to make that happen. Among the people that are working the hardest to make that happen. So I appreciate all departments, but you guys, this new initiative at Hunters is exciting. What the fire department is doing with the new department and the possible training center. And Chief, everything that you've been doing to turn that department around and all your hard work is paying off. It's taking time. We look forward to the next drug bust, no pressure at all. But we do look forward to the next drug bust in our community, and hopefully things will improve soon. Thank you, Counselor Denise, for your attendance via the internet. I certainly appreciate you being here, and I didn't have to do this meeting by myself. I thank you, Victoria, and I thank you, sir, for your attendance. It's so important that you hear stuff at this level, because this is where a lot of issues come up and fall off. If you don't get it here, then maybe we don't get it, you know what I mean? So I think it's really important that you're here, and I appreciate your presence. I know you guys have all had a long day. Everybody go home.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Recording stopped.